Back in 1978, while still a University of Minnesota undergrad, David Fantle and his pal Tom Johnson began interviewing celebrities for their school newspaper. Little did they know it would lead to 25 years of chatting up stars, now collected into a book. And joining me now is reel-to-reel co-author David Fantle. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in this morning. And I got to tell you, your book is delightful. You've got some great stories in here. Clearly, I mean, I interview celebrities for a living, and the world of that whole thing has changed completely.
There's no question. I mean, when we saw That's Entertainment, the compilation of all the great MGM musicals 30 years ago as teenagers, Tom and I, like you said, pals from school growing up in St. Paul, said, we got to meet these stars. We got to become film buffs. And in '78, through some writing and some persistence, we had green-lighted interviews with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly.
And you could just write these people, right?
Well,
They would answer. You didn't have to go through this whole group of, you know, publicists and all sorts of handlers.
You know, these guys were in the golden age of Hollywood, were groomed on the Hollywood system. They understood publicity. They understood the success of their careers, and their projects were tied in their availability to members of the media. The other things Tom and I had going for us was youth. These were celebrities in the twilight of their careers, and I think they probably thought it was cool that here were two young guys from the Midwest
who appreciated their careers and knew their films and knew their work.
Yeah, and we're introducing them to a younger audience. You mentioned the Minnesota Daily, that's the college paper we wrote for. It was one of the largest college papers in the country, and so it was exposing these people to a whole new generation of fans.
You've got so many great stories in here. What's one of your favorites? Because we don't have a lot of time I want to tell people about.
Well, I mean, there's the legendary director Frank Capra, and we interviewed him in Palm Springs once, and then he came to the one and only Minneapolis Film Festival. We sort of had to kidnap him, which is a long story, but somewhat amusing in the book. But here he was, 83 years old, the Mark Twain of filmmakers. We're talking, you know, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, It's a Wonderful Life. We took him to the Mississippi River for the first time, and he, you know, the Mark Twain of filmmakers.
I love it.
You know, there was a great anecdote with Rod Steiger, the great Oscar-winning actor, who went to a young studio executive when he was resurrecting his career, and this guy had the nerve to ask Rod Steiger, can you do a Southern accent? And of course, Steiger won an Oscar for In the Heat of the Night, playing a redneck Southern sheriff, and he just said, I want to pop this guy.
Well, that's terrific. I know, exactly. Some great stories in here. The book is, of course, called Reel to Reel, and I think we have information. You're going to have a book signing.
I'll be at Old Orchard at Barnes & Noble tomorrow at 2 p.m., and I hope everyone comes out. We have some show and tell and some more anecdotes.
That's terrific. It's great to have you in here. Thanks for being here, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I'm singing and dancing in